4 years, BlackBerry was the gold standard for mobile communication. It pioneered the smartphone industry, transforming how professionals stayed connected. With its signature physical keyboard, secure messaging system, and enterprise-level security, BlackBerry was once the most trusted mobile device in the business world. However, despite its early dominance, BlackBerry failed to keep up with rapid technological advancements and shifting consumer preferences. What was once an essential tool for executives and government officials eventually became obsolete. This is the story of the rise and fall of BlackBerry, how it became a tech giant, the key missteps that led to its downfall, and what businesses today can learn from its dramatic decline. To understand BlackBerry's downfall, we first need to look at how it became a leader in the smartphone market. Founded in 1984 as Research in Motion, RIM, by Mike Lazaridis and Douglas Fredgen, the company initially focused on developing wireless technology. Its breakthrough came in 1999 with the launch of the BlackBerry 850, a mobile device that introduced the concept of secure, on-the-go email communication. The device was an instant hit among professionals and businesses, revolutionizing corporate communication. Unlike traditional mobile phones, BlackBerry devices offered a physical QWERTY keyboard, push email technology, and unparalleled security features. These features gave BlackBerry a reputation for reliability, which made it indispensable to business executives, politicians, and financial professionals who needed constant and secure communication. One of BlackBerry's key advantages was its proprietary BlackBerry Messenger, BBM, service. Launched in 2005, BBM became a game-changer in mobile messaging, offering encrypted communication long before apps like WhatsApp and iMessage became mainstream. It allowed instant, private communication between BlackBerry users, further increasing the device's appeal to businesses and government agencies that prioritized security. As BlackBerry continued to refine its products, its market share grew rapidly. By 2008, BlackBerry controlled nearly 50% of the smartphone market in the US and had millions of loyal customers worldwide. Its devices, including the BlackBerry Curve and Bold series, became status symbols in the corporate world. At the time, competitors struggled to match BlackBerry's enterprise-grade security and email functionality. Companies integrated BlackBerry Enterprise Server, BES, into their IT infrastructures, making BlackBerry devices an integral part of professional communication. Beyond business users, BlackBerry was also beginning to make waves in the consumer market. With the introduction of more compact and stylish models, younger users started adopting BlackBerry devices, drawn by the appeal of BBM and its superior messaging capabilities. In some regions, BlackBerry became the dominant mobile device not just for professionals, but for students and casual users as well. Despite its dominance, BlackBerry showed signs of overconfidence in its success. While it continued to refine its keyboard-based designs and enterprise solutions, it underestimated how quickly consumer preferences could shift. The smartphone industry was evolving rapidly, and the next major disruption was already on the horizon. BlackBerry's dominance in the smartphone industry seemed unshakable. But as history would soon show, no company is immune to disruption, especially in the fast-moving world of technology. Company is immune to disruption. Despite its success, BlackBerry's leadership underestimated the power of change in the tech industry. In 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone, a revolutionary touchscreen device that redefined the concept of a smartphone. While BlackBerry dismissed the iPhone as a niche product for consumers rather than professionals, the device's impact on the market was immediate and profound. Many within the industry saw the iPhone as the beginning of a new era, but BlackBerry's executives remained skeptical, believing their loyal business customers would not be swayed by a touchscreen device. Unlike BlackBerry's traditional devices, the iPhone featured a full touchscreen, an intuitive interface, and an extensive app ecosystem. Apple's App Store allowed developers to create a vast range of applications, making the iPhone more than just a communication tool. It was a portable entertainment and productivity hub. The App Store's success created an entirely new business model where software and services became just as important as hardware, something BlackBerry failed to grasp early on. While BlackBerry's email and security features remained its core strengths, the lack of a competitive app ecosystem put it at a significant disadvantage. At the same time, Google introduced Android, an open-source mobile operating system that allowed various manufacturers to create powerful, affordable touchscreen smartphones. Companies like Samsung and HTC quickly adopted Android, offering consumers a wide range of alternatives to BlackBerry. Unlike BlackBerry's closed ecosystem, Android provided manufacturers and developers with more flexibility, fostering rapid innovation and a diverse selection of smartphones at different price points. This meant that while Apple targeted the premium segment of the market, Android manufacturers were able to reach both budget-conscious and high-end consumers, further eroding BlackBerry's dominance. Instead of adapting to these changes, BlackBerry remained committed to its traditional design philosophy. It continued to prioritize physical keyboards and its proprietary operating system, believing that its loyal enterprise customers would remain with the brand. However, as touchscreen technology improved and consumer demand for multimedia capabilities grew, BlackBerry's outdated approach began to show cracks. The lack of a competitive touchscreen device and app ecosystem meant that BlackBerry was falling behind not just in innovation, but also in user experience. The company's failure to anticipate consumer demand for larger screens, better web browsing, and app-based services led to an accelerating decline in market share. While Apple and Android manufacturers aggressively expanded their ecosystems, BlackBerry continued to iterate on its existing products rather than reinventing its strategy. As the years passed, it became evident that BlackBerry was no longer leading the smartphone revolution, it was struggling to keep up with it.
By the early 2010s, BlackBerry was rapidly losing market share. While Apple and Android manufacturers were innovating with larger screens, better cameras, and app-based ecosystems, BlackBerry lagged behind. The rise of touchscreens, improved user interfaces, and intuitive app stores revolutionized the smartphone experience, making BlackBerry's reliance on physical keyboards seem outdated. Consumers wanted devices that offered entertainment, social networking, and seamless app integration, features that BlackBerry failed to prioritize. BlackBerry's attempts to modernize, such as the BlackBerry Storm, which featured a clickable touchscreen, were poorly received. The device's unresponsive interface and software glitches only frustrated users, further pushing them toward iPhones and Android devices. Meanwhile, Apple and Google continued refining their ecosystems, with iOS and Android becoming more robust and feature-rich with each update. BlackBerry, in contrast, struggled to provide a comparable experience, leading to further losses in customer loyalty. In 2013, BlackBerry attempted a major comeback with the BlackBerry 10 operating system and the launch of the BlackBerry Z10, its first full touchscreen smartphone. The company hoped this move would reclaim its lost market share, but it faced numerous challenges. The BlackBerry 10 OS, while innovative in some ways, was not as polished as iOS or Android, and it lacked a robust app marketplace. By this time, iOS and Android had already established themselves as the dominant smartphone platforms, and developers were no longer interested in creating apps for BlackBerry's ecosystem. Without major app support, the BlackBerry Z10 was destined to fail, as consumers had grown accustomed to the convenience of app-driven experiences. Additionally, BlackBerry's enterprise clients, the backbone of its business, began adopting iPhones and Android devices as security features on competing platforms improved. Companies that once relied on BlackBerry for secure communication found that Apple and Google were catching up with encrypted messaging and mobile device management solutions. The introduction of business-focused applications on iOS and Android made BlackBerry's services redundant, further diminishing its appeal. Even government agencies, longtime BlackBerry users, started transitioning to iPhones and Android devices due to their increasing security capabilities and superior software support. BlackBerry's slow response to market changes, combined with its failure to attract both developers and consumers, sealed its fate. As BlackBerry's relevance continued to decline, its stock value plummeted. Investor confidence dwindled, and the company faced increasing financial struggles. Once a tech giant, the company was now struggling to remain afloat in an industry it had once dominated. By the mid-2010s, BlackBerry was no longer a significant player in the smartphone market, marking the beginning of its transition away from hardware and into software and cybersecurity solutions. By the mid-2010s, it was clear that BlackBerry could no longer compete in the smartphone industry. In 2016, the company announced that it would stop making its own phones and shift its focus to software and cybersecurity solutions. Instead of designing and manufacturing hardware, BlackBerry licensed its brand to third-party manufacturers, effectively exiting the smartphone market. This transition was not only a reflection of the company's failure to innovate, but also a recognition that it had lost the battle for mainstream consumers. The shift toward software and security was a strategic pivot aimed at leveraging BlackBerry's historical strengths. While its hardware had become irrelevant, its expertise in secure communications and enterprise solutions still held value. The company began focusing on developing cybersecurity software, mobile device management, MDM, systems, and embedded systems for industries such as automotive and healthcare. However, despite this pivot, BlackBerry struggled to regain its prominence, as the software market was already dominated by established tech giants like Microsoft and Cisco. By the late 2010s, BlackBerry's relevance in the consumer space had all but disappeared. Once a symbol of professional success and corporate dominance, BlackBerry devices were now seen as relics of a bygone era. Even its most loyal users had moved on to more advanced smartphones that provided a seamless experience across work and personal life. While BlackBerry's software business managed to sustain the company financially, it was a far cry from the global influence it once wielded. This marked the end of an era. What had once been the most trusted name in mobile communication had become an afterthought in the tech industry. The downfall of BlackBerry serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when a company fails to evolve with consumer demands and technological advancements. While BlackBerry continued to operate as a software and security company, its legacy as a smartphone pioneer had faded, leaving behind a story of missed opportunities and critical missteps. The fall of BlackBerry offers valuable lessons for businesses and innovators. Adaptation is key. No matter how dominant a company is, failing to recognize and respond to industry shifts can lead to irrelevance. BlackBerry's reluctance to embrace touchscreen technology and app ecosystems cost it its leadership position. Innovation must be continuous. A company cannot rely on past success to carry it forward. BlackBerry's early innovations set the stage for modern smartphones, but it failed to evolve when new competitors entered the market. Consumer preferences matter. Businesses must listen to their customers. BlackBerry was overly focused on enterprise clients and dismissed the rising demand for consumer-friendly smartphones. This allowed Apple and Android to capture the mass market. BlackBerry's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of complacency in a rapidly evolving industry. The smartphone market continues to be driven by innovation, and the companies that lead today must remain vigilant or risk becoming the next BlackBerry. What do you think? Could BlackBerry have survived if it had embraced change sooner, or was its downfall inevitable? Let us know in the comments.